terms. The key to firefighting gear is it works by absorbing and releasing energy. Okay. How does it do that? You have something known as TPP, which is thermal protective performance, how it absorbs energy until a certain point, and then it's maxed out, and that energy goes where? To you. What works in cooperation with something called THL, total heat loss. Total heat loss is how the rating of how fast the gear releases that energy, both heat and vapor, and it's its breathability. The NFPA minimum is 205. The problem is that's an inverse relationship between those two numbers typically until recently. And THL has gotten a bad rap because firefighters didn't want to feel anything. They thought if they felt heat, the gear wasn't any good. The problem is the number one cause of firefighter death, still to this day, besides suicide, is overexertion, stress, and medical incidents. Well, what's causing that? How many of you know how your body works as far as when you sweat? How does it cool? It cools by sweating and then evaporating. When I sweat and my sweat does not evaporate, what happens to my core temperature? It goes up. What happens to the stress on my heart? It increases. It's been known to cause all kind of terrible things to our heart. So if I don't have a good high THL or a balance between THL and TPP, I'm in trouble. And you know what I've learned in the last 2 years of wearing gear that has a higher THL? I don't stand up in the fire with the higher THL, but I shouldn't have been anyway. But I went and did 17 evolutions in Caddo Parish, Louisiana, and did 18 burns in one day in West Virginia Public Safety Expo, and then took my wife out for dinner and felt fine. Then I did 3 burns with my good friend who's on the call here at my department wearing Globe GX Extreme, and I went home and took a nap because I felt awful because that gear holds the heat in and has a low THL. So if I hold the heat in and I don't take my gear off in between burns, which very few people do, what am I doing? I'm cooking myself because it has a lower THL. It takes longer for that heat to come off of me. It takes longer for that vapor to come through. By the way, it takes a minimum of 20 to 25 points in difference for you to feel the difference in THL.